making some progress on the truck. Got some of the hardware cleaned up and painted. It's the bump stop brackets and one of the spare tire brackets. I got the oh yeah, I got the other shock mount to go in there, so I didn't have to rebuild that. Other one was really actually just very flimsy. Not even in the, you know, basically where the parts where it was worn out, but I mean it was really flimsy. Nah, I didn't want to bother with it. This other one looks pretty good. Got a better look at it. I got it all cleaned up, and you can see right there is where it was cut across. You can see where it was re-welded too, right there. But it was cut clean through on this whole thing. And the only reason I could figure, and re-welded, the only thing I can figure is that they probably did that to make it fit or something. I don't know, but I mean, it doesn't really bother me, but I'll fill it in and get that one painted up too. The rest of it, there's only a minor bit of descaling needs to be done before I actually start cutting these rear frame sections out. But yeah, I want to try and get that done as far forward as I can and get paint on as much of the frame as I can to just kind of like mark where I've been, like I've been this far or whatever. So yeah, it's coming right along. Making some progress on this rear cross member here. You can see I patched a lot of the holes that were up top here, rounded down along the edge there, even on the side here, and big panel right here had to get cut out because that was all messed up. I don't know, where is it? Oh yeah, this thing right here. It was all chewed up like that, kind of like right in there. Had to cut it out and welded it down and ground it out and stuff. And I get to like this section here where I'm fixing these little holes. It's just little pinhole stuff. And you know, after I'm done welding it, I just grind it flat so it looks like, well, it looks like that. It just looks like regular metal, you know. It looks nice and smooth. It'll be fine after I paint it. But my goddamn grinder crapped out on me. But I think the bearing is gone in the front of this thing, so I have my die grinder, but it just turns the compressor on, and I don't know if I want to be running the compressor this late. Well, the kids aren't home or anything like that, but you know, it's pretty late. But I just wanted to show, yeah, I got some updates going on here. Just the top is done. This side is nearly done. Those things need to be ground down a bit. This other side needs some more serious work. That whole section needs to be cut out there. That's all really thin and cracked and everything like that. But then there's the other side over here, which it's got a kind of a big hole right there, and this edge, actually this whole edge right here is thin. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with that yet, but the rest of them, there's little pinholes here and there that need to be filled in. But it's coming along, and yeah, it's coming along, just getting her done. So I finally got the rest of the, well, most of the cross member done, front, back, top, bottom. It's all the patches have been made, except for this ledge that's completely rotten out, and so I'm cutting that off right now. I just I don't know, I was just cutting it out, and you can see how I got a straight line down there. What I was doing to do that was just use the head of my my little die grinder as a kind of like a fence against the side here, and just zip right along, and that kind of came out pretty straight. I'm happy about that. Now this side I'm gonna have to cut up and do an angle, you know, do the top side of this section of it, because that's totally clapped out as well. But yeah, I'm making the final incision on this this rear cross member, and I'm just I'm happy with the progress so far. So I got it all cut up here. And I treated it as two different panels that needed to be replaced. So I made two of them here. One curvy one that kind of go along this edge here. You can see how that fits. It'll get welded right on there and follow along the curvature of that thing, because there's a little, kind of a little hump right here. And then this one, which goes on the end, goes right in the end, in there, like that. And then I'll get it welded in. And then it'll also need to be kind of cut flush along the back here. It'll, you know, so that it lines up with the back of the truck. I'm going to wait till after I weld it in to do that. Also, they're going to cut out this little kind of curvy thing that goes down. It's actually, the brake lines are supposed to go behind this cross member to the rear axle. And then it has a little cutouts on the sides there. But I'll cut those out and, you know, get it flush with the end after I get it all welded together. But yeah, I think those are ready to weld in. Now, first pass at it looks pretty good. I got it all buttoned up. I haven't even like scraped off the welds or anything like that. It is cooled down though. Yeah, it's cooled down enough now where I can grind the shit away, right? But my old grinder, you know, it just shit the bed. One of the bearings up front there went bad on it. And I mean, this is, you get what you pay for, I guess. This is Chicago Electric. If you don't know, it's a Harbor Freight thing. I probably picked this up for like, I don't know, 25 bucks, 30 bucks, something like that. It's just cheap ass piece of shit made of pure Chinesium, 4.5 inch angle grinder, right? But they're great. Like, I've never had one before I had this one. The only thing I had was my die grinder, and that does fine for most things, you know. But look at the size of the cutting wheels on this thing, you know. Giant 4.5 inch cutting wheels, grinding wheels. Like, this is the one I was using on it. But well, just to give you a comparison, like, here's a new one, but I mean, still, you know, I mean, a good amount of power to be able to grind the shit down, you know. That's what I would use. I would use the grinding wheel on something like this, where you want to just, I want to make this look flat, you know. It's going to look like just a regular, it's going to look like regular sheet metal after I'm done with it. You won't be able to tell, basically. And you know, I never had one of these 4.5 inch grinders before this one, and it is, I love it. I honestly, I love having it. Nothing against the die grinder, but I needed one. So, welcome to the shop. Pick me out myself up a good one, a decent one. Anyway, this is the Bosch 10 amper, and it is pretty sweet looking. It's got a neat little full length button on the bottom of it, and you gotta depress that little thing to get it to go. But I mean, Bosch got that. The little guard, shield guard, I just put that on there. You could adjust that, turn it to like whatever angle you want. Comes with its own little grinding wheel. So that's what I'm going to be tearing this thing apart with, or tearing this thing down with, is my new Bosch angle grinder. Sweet. Finished up the cross member, put it in for a test fit, and it looks like it'll fit in there just fine. I got this side holes lining up. This side don't quite line up, but I know why they don't line up. You can see like the frame needs to be pressed out a little bit. In order to, I think you're not really supposed to be taking this cross member off while the leaf springs are attached, because what happens is when you take it off, they kind of fold in against each other just a little bit. Like it's like probably like a 1/4 inch or so. 3/8 maybe, but you know, it's enough to where I had to put a jack in between the frame rails just so I could get it started. Once you get it started, it's fine, but yeah, anyway, it's fine. And like I said, I'll have to spread it apart just a little bit to get the bolt holes lined up, and that's what I want to do now. I just wanted to make sure that it fit in here, like, you know, horizontally on this side. That looks good. All the welds are cleaned up, and this thing has no more rust holes in it. It's solid. So I'm really I'm really happy about how it came out. It'll look better with paint, but I just want to get it drilled before I put some paint on it. Starting to get some of the bigger frame parts in. This is a new section for the driver's side rear. Replacing this Swiss cheese. Just a couple more of those plates from the bottom side on that one, and then the top and the bottom on that one. Should be good to go. Also, I've got some other little holes along the way, but I have fixed up all of the cheese that was going on this side and the back on the side. So I'm happy with the way that turned out. There's a plate there, and then a plate over there, and then a couple of just plug holes over there that I need to plug in. But it's getting there. This driver's side just needs the bottom side in the rear here, just a small section, and that'll be done. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Rear cross member back on? Yeah, only temporarily. I've got it mounted up right here with some new hardware, just so I can drill a hole in this one right here. I got a pilot hole drilled from underneath, because this is all brand new metal, top and bottom on that, and they line up good. I've got the rest of it bolted in so that I can, you know, get the holes lined up right. Or get that hole lined up right before I drilled it. But I gotta take it back off, and still some work to do on the right part of the frame. But the left part, the driver's side frame, is fully repaired. All the repairs have been done on that so far. So one side down. Getting real close to getting this thing done. I had to cut that little piece out. It was flimsy as shit. I could show you the Swiss cheese, but I've showed you that before. It's crazy the way some of this stuff rusts. A little side piece there, a little top piece. Oh, got that all welded in. Got this bottom piece cut out. This is the final touch, if you will, on the rear frame, and then all of the frame repairs will be done. Oh my God, won't that be a glorious day? One more piece, but I think I'm done for tonight, so it'll have to wait until maybe tomorrow at some point. Just finished welding the last of the repairs on the rear frame here. Got a top panel in there, a bottom panel in there, got one inside there, and one right there. These were all pretty thin spots and kind of ratty on the edges in all of those areas. The rest of it's pretty good, and it's all welded like on the bottoms and shit. You can see it on the outside too. Outside of the frame. So I just have to dress those welds down, and I think it might actually be time for paint. Wow.
Dazzling works inspired by the Parkway's ground fountains are the centerpiece exhibition of Parkway 100, the city's 14-month celebration commemorating the 100-year anniversary of the avenue's groundbreaking. Created by multimedia artist Jennifer Steinkamp and commissioned by the Association for Public Art with support from the William Penn Foundation, Winter Fountains lights up Philadelphia's winter nights with a series of 4 installations.
Neat.
Yeah.
Slow, that's the way.
Do it, Kathy. Do it.
Jimmy, this is like what we did the other day at Amelia's house. We made it wood and we made a door frame. Like,
Wait, are you saying I did this with you? It's a brisk 19 degrees, late December, Pennsylvania. I've got the frame as clean as I'm gonna get it for paint. Got it all wire wheeled, top, bottom, nooks and crannies as much as I could. And it looks all right. It's fully repaired. All of the repairs have been done. Let's see. Got some stuff going on down there. Like I said, I've wire wheeled as much as I possibly can. to get most of the rust off of it. And it is finally time for paint. Oh. She's half done painted. This is just the one rail. This is, I'm letting it dry right now. This is just the first coat. I'm not sure how many coats I'll actually need on this. I gotta take a look at it after it's dry. Looks like it needs a little bit in there. There's probably gonna be a couple spots, yeah, like in there that need a little bit of extra coverage, but I cleaned that side and it's painted, and it's really, really cold out, like, I don't know, 12 degrees or so outside and snowing. But, you know, hopefully this dries soon enough. I don't know if it dries slower in the cold or what, but I think it does, so. But it looks really good, even shiny right now. Oh, it'll go flat though. But one half of it's got some coverage. Looks pretty good. Okay, I did forget a section here. You know, kind of looked like fine from the top, but this brake like bracket for the rear brake line, I forgot to take it out and kind of clean it up. And also there's some descaling right along the top edge there that I couldn't get to because this stupid brake line was in the way. So I just got this one little section of frame, the bottom part of this top section that I need to finish up before I can paint this side. But I had to cut the bolts out of here because they were so rusted on from the back, and so yeah, that needs to be cleaned up. So I can't paint that half of the frame yet. It's close, so close. I'm gonna say not the most perfect of paint jobs, but in general, I choose to look at the stuff that is actually hit. It looks good to me. That side's dry. This side I just got a coat on. And that just about does it for getting the rear frame all painted and done. I need to reassemble it. Now, put the shock towers back in, put the rear cross member in. Also, this is one other big thing that I have to clean up. This gas tank is a little messy. All this oil on this side is from the rear main, or the rear seal on the transfer case that needs to be replaced. I have a seal to fix that up so that that doesn't happen again. And I keep oil in my transfer case. But in general, it's in really good shape. There's only a little bit of surface rust on the top and where the straps go. I just got to clean up the straps. And so that's really the last thing that needs to get done before I can put this bed back on and maybe try and get it inspected. That would be, oh my God, so good. That would be so good. In the blizzard of 18. Yep, it's snowy and 20 degrees outside and windy, super windy. Got some good progress on this frame. The whole frame is painted, and I decided that I would clean up as much of the rear end as I can while I have it exposed like this. It's just easier this way. I'll take care of the drive shaft later, but I got this entire pumpkin and the axle shaft, or the axle housings, the whole rear end basically descaled, except for like really close to around where the springs attach. I'm going to take care of that when I take the springs off, but I'm not going to do that until I get everything reassembled. All of these U-bolts need to be replaced. I found out that some of them are really thin over there and one's broken over here, and yeah, it's kind of a mess, but I'll fix it. Actually, that one's broken right there. Anyway, but yeah, that's all cleaned up, and I got all the brackets and everything off of the frame that hold the brake lines and vent hoses and everything else, just kind of off and cleaned up and painted. You can see I've got a whole bunch of correctly color schemed parts to go back onto the truck. There's just a bunch of, it's hard to see in a sea of blue there, but basically making some progress. I think I'm gonna do gloss black for the rear end here, except for the cover. That'll have to go with the color scheme. All right, I got the rear diff all finally finished cleaning it up. Got her wire wheeled and descaled and all that crap. She's definitely all ready for paint. Got the nuts off, or got the bolts off of this rear end here, so you can kind of see what's going on inside. I think it's been closed for about 25 years now, probably. Oh, come on, let me open it. Oh, it's a nice hue of green and brown. Yeah, smells like gear oil. That's kind of interesting colors though. Nice. Oh man, it is looking pretty good. I just finished putting a touch-up coat on it. It's all painted out to, like I said, out to the shock mounts and the spring mounts, and then I'll do what's in and around the spring mounts later. But I got all the way out to the ends. Just go. Well, you can hear the plow trucks going. Still kind of enduring the blizzard. I also just wiped off my frame a little bit because it gets so dusty with rust flying all over the place when you wire wheel the shit that these frame rails are looking a little dingy. I still have a little rust removal to do on that gas tank, but I just wanted to get a nice good shot of everything on here so far. Frame's done. The rear axle's done. The rear is done. And I've got the cover and all the hardware to hold the brake lines down and everything painted as well. It all just needs to dry. Should be able to put it all together tomorrow. Since I was a kid, man, I have always loved these rear covers. They gotta be decorated though, because you see them on these trucks going down the road, and some of them have skulls, and some are chrome. Actually, one of my first cars was a '81 AMC Spirit, and it had a chrome cover, but it wasn't really chrome. It was kind of like one of those fake plastic covers that you band over with springs, and it just kind of gets like loosely attached to cover up your actual rear cover. And I know it was always like a little chintzy, but I don't know. I mean, I really wanted a chrome valve cover, but I didn't, or a chrome diff cover, but I didn't want to fork out the cash when I'm 16 years old to buy myself an actual cover. So cheap J.C. Whitney plastic did the trick. But on this one, I'm not going chrome because, well, it doesn't fit the color theme exactly. The color theme is a little bit different on this one, so I went with Betsy's colors, red, white, and blue. Got the black axle, so I figured, well, for the diff, I'll just use the blue because it looks pretty cool. I don't know what or if I'm going to be painting the rear transmit or the rear drive shaft on this thing, but we'll see. You know, I'm not 100% sure on what I want to do with that. This is the wrong bolt. Should use this one. It's all right. Oops. This one can go here. And this one goes in here. Oh. Getting schmoo all over the paint. That's fine. Not the last time it's gonna be dirty. Just the first. And then we get this lined up pretty much the way it wants to go in, lock her down. That looks pretty good to me. Yeah. Oh, that looks really good. I like it. I like it a lot. Look at that. Oh, man. Sweet. Crisis averted. Check this out. This is my new custom drain or fill plug for my rear differential. Look at that shine. Oh, almost just looks like a regular socket extension. Well, that's because it is. These stupid plugs, man. It just got so rusty on the inside of it where you're supposed to put your tool in that I couldn't get. It just started stripping on my ratchet. So I got my welder out there and kind of like welded as much of that socket extension that I could to the plug where it sits on the case right there, and I was able to back it out. So now I can fill it up, and I have a custom plug. Got the frame totally reassembled. Check it out. Rear cross members in. I got this front brace in. You saw the rear in. I got the shock towers in. Got the shocks installed. Oh, I gotta tighten up the bottom bolts on those shocks. Custom fill plug on my rear end. I even ran the wiring for the brakes through the side there, so it's at the back here. Only thing I didn't put on, and I'm deciding to kind of not do it right now, is the spare tire carrier goes inside this housing inside here. And the reason that I'm holding off on it, I was able to clean up. I don't know if you guys can remember, but this thing was super bent when I got this thing. And I mean, I tried bending it at first. I thought it was just a lost cause until I got my shop press over there, and this was the actual first thing that I ever fixed on it. So I bent it back into shape. It's perfectly fine and everything. Only problem is there's no holes, because what's underneath here on this is all new metal right there, and also on this side where it bolts in, that's all new metal in there. So there's a pipe or a tube, I guess, that goes through this and then attaches to the winch, so you can winch the tire up and down. It's kind of like a winch style spare tire carrier. So I'm not going to bother with that until I get the bumper on, because the pipe that sticks out there has to kind of align straight with the winch and this hole in the bumper. So it's all got to kind of be in place before I can locate it. So I'm not gonna put the spare tire carrier on yet. That's gonna just have to wait until I get the rest of the truck together. But the only thing that's missing from this picture here, the only thing, is the gas tank. Should go right there, but it's over there. And that's, I think, other than that, I think that's the last thing that I need to get done on this before I can finally start it up again. That'll be so sweet. While I was cleaning up the gas tank, I noticed this big dent in the side right here. It's kind of, the paint's a little wet right now, but you can kind of see it right there. This big dent. It's not leaking or anything like that, but it looks like it was kind of like smashed across. This is one of the bar strap areas that holds it in. And that side's a little messed up too. I don't know if it was like crushed because it was tightened down too much or what, but it doesn't seem to be affecting that it, you know, it doesn't leak or anything like that. This thing's almost painted. I just got the back to clean up. It all cleaned up pretty well. I just putting it in gloss black. I figured that's fine enough. One more thing that I wanted to do before I get this truck going again, I figured I'll just videotape this here, is well, it's 2018 now, and my truck doesn't need these anymore. I'm not gonna cut them off, but I'm gonna empty them out. I'm gonna gut the cats, because in Pennsylvania, you just need to have it look like, well, you just have to have catalytic converters installed on a vehicle. There's no actual emissions test after the car is 25 years old. So I don't need these things to be working, and I'd rather have them empty. So I'm going to do that for sure for its 25th birthday. On top of the tank, where it kind of rests between the tank and the frame, it kind of like is basically kind of jammed up towards the frame. They have these little styrofoam, I think it feels like styrofoam pads. I guess I'm not exactly sure why they have them, but I just picked up a whole pack of them. I went with red on my ones, and these are just stealing picks from Wally World, and put them down here, and I just stuck them to like where the rails kind of butt up to them. But yeah, that tank is ready to go in. This is kind of one of those ridiculous situations where this is not how you're supposed to do it, but I have a 14-gallon can here. It used to have a manual pump on it, so like a hand pump, so you can pump gas out of it. But that broke, and so I bought this stupid little pump on eBay or Amazon or one of those for pumping water. It's designed for pumping water, and so, but it uses regular hose fittings, right? So I got this hose, stuck it in the tank, and you can see, I don't know if you could, it's hard, yeah, it's going to be impossible to see with the flash on the light, but basically I've got it cocked back a little bit, and the wheels chalked on this thing so I can get my drill under here. But basically all you do is open a little air valve on this guy and let her chooch. You can hear it going in. You can actually see the level going down with the light behind it. So I just need enough to start it, and I think I've got maybe 2 gallons in there now, so that should be good. Let's let her rip. Come on, baby, do me right. Ooh. Oh, she needs a charge. It's freaking cold as a witch's tit outside. January, it's got to be, I don't know, I think probably went up to 15 or 17 today. But, yeah, it's cold. Second time's a charm. Let the pump fill up.